Welcome back to the DragonCruiser, where we break down the wild world of global politics and economics. Today we're diving into the hottest topic in trade, the US-China tariff truce that just dropped on May 12, 2025. Is this a brilliant play by President Trump to shake up global manufacturing, or a risky move that could backfire? Buckle up, because we're unpacking the 90-day deal, how it's hitting Chinese factories, helping US businesses, and what Trump's really up to. Let's cruise into it. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're ready for the breakdown. First, the basics. The US and China have been in a trade war, with Trump slapping 145% tariffs on Chinese goods and China hitting back with 125% on US products. That's disrupted nearly $600 billion in trade, jacked up prices, and freaked out global markets. But on May 12th, after talks in Geneva, Switzerland, both sides agreed to a 90-day truce. The US cuts its tariffs to 30%, China drops theirs to 10%, and they'll keep talking to avoid a full-blown economic meltdown. Sounds like a win-win, right? Not so fast. Here's the deal. This truce is temporary, lasting just 90 days, until around August 10th, 2025. It's not a final fix. Big issues like China's subsidies, intellectual property theft, and the US's $263 billion trade deficit are still on the table. Analysts say these could take years to sort out. So why 90 days? And who's really coming out on top? Let's start with China, because their manufacturers are feeling the heat. Chinese factories are the backbone of global manufacturing, pumping out 30% of the world's goods, including $427 billion to the US last year. But Trump's 145% tariffs were a gut punch, tanking exports by 10% and threatening 16 million jobs, according to Nomura. Now, with tariffs down to 30% for 90 days, you'd think they're breathing easy. Nope. The catch is the uncertainty. No one knows if tariffs will shoot back up to 145% or higher in August. That's got Chinese manufacturers and big players like Apple and Tesla sweating. This uncertainty is exactly what Trump wants. It's pushing companies to rethink staying in China. Why build there if tariffs could crush your profits? Firms are already moving. Apple's ramping up in India, Foxconn's eyeing Vietnam, and 15% of China-based manufacturers have relocation plans, per Bloomberg. Trump's betting that by making China a risky place to produce, he can force companies to bring factories to the US, or at least to allies like Mexico or India. It's a long game. Reshoring takes years, but this 90-day uncertainty is lighting a fire under Chinese manufacturers to act fast. Now, flip to the US side. American importers, think Walmart, Amazon, are loving this truce. With tariffs at 30%, they can import Chinese goods way cheaper than at 145%. They're stockpiling everything from electronics to clothes, building up inventories to avoid price hikes later. Goldman Sachs says US inventories are running low, and this 90-day window lets retailers reload before the holiday rush. It's also a shield against inflation, which could jump 1% by 2026 if tariffs spike again, according to the Congressional Budget Office. This is a smart move for Trump. By giving importers a breather, he's keeping consumer prices stable for now, avoiding angry voters before the 2026 midterms. Plus, it buys time for his bigger plan, bringing manufacturing home. Trump's been loud about wanting all manufacturers back in the US, and he's pushing tax breaks and deregulation to make it happen. Since 2021, $1 trillion in private investment has been announced for US factories. Think Intel, Ford. The truce lets companies start planning to move stateside without immediate tariff pain. So, is this truce just a tactic? I'd say 80 to 90% yes. Trump's playing chess. The 90-day pause hurts China by scaring manufacturers into leaving, helps US businesses by letting them stockpile, and sets up Trump for tougher negotiations later. If more companies shift production away from China, the US needs Chinese goods less, giving Trump leverage to demand concessions, like better market access or cracking down on fentanyl precursors. It's like Trump saying, "I'll ease up now, but I'm coming back harder if you don't play ball." But here's the flip side. 90 days is short. Building factories in the US takes years, not months. Only 2 to 3% of US manufacturing has reshored since 2016, and China's still the world's factory king. Plus, China's not sitting still. They're boosting exports to other countries and could hit back with bans on critical minerals like gallium, which the U.S. needs for tech. If talks fail in August and tariffs jump to 145%, U.S. consumers could face higher prices and inflation might bite. Trump's betting he can outmaneuver China, but it's a gamble. The markets love this truce. S&P 500's up 3%, Dow futures gained 2%. It's also tied to bigger moves, like the U.S. brokering an India-Pakistan ceasefire the same week. Trump's team is flexing, showing they can stabilize the world while pushing America first. But ex-posts are mixed. Some call it a U.S. win, others say China's just biding time. One thing's clear, this 90-day deal is a pressure cooker for China and a lifeline for the U.S. But the trade war's far from over. All right, DragonCruiser crew, what do you think? Is Trump's tariff truce a genius move to bring jobs home, or a risky bet that could spike prices? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the convo going. If you want more breakdowns like this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Next week, we're diving into what happens when these 90 days are up. Until then, keep cruising and stay sharp. Peace out.